Hi, and welcome to the session today on consulting roles. Most people are afraid to consider switching over to consulting roles because they are way too comfortable in their corporate roles. The underlying fear they have is around many factors. What if prospects do not take me seriously after my corporate label is gone? What if I'm not competent enough to support without a trained team? What if I do not recommend the right solution to address clients' pain points? What if I do not earn the kind of pay I draw now? What if I fail to achieve clients' business outcomes? What if I make a fool of myself because I threatened my cozy cocoon? I'm going to come back to these questions in just a couple of minutes. Before that, here is one more question that requires some serious reflection. How often were we taught in school or college to think of our existence and personality as independent business owners or entrepreneurs? By the time we had the maturity to understand why we need an education, it was already imposed on most of us how important scores and ranks are for pursuing higher education and finding a well paying job. This means basically from a very young age we are designed to think how we can work well and work hard for other people. This also means that keeping that job intact should be our topmost priority, even if it turns out to be golden handcuff in a few years, not quite letting us do anything else in life. This mental training since childhood is actually stopping many potential people like you to take that plunge to begin working for yourself and having your own clients. Were you ever told in school and college that you can actually control both money and time if you work for yourself? Instead of learning it the hard way after almost 2 or 3 decades of corporate experience, if people begin to understand now that managing one's career does not mean just finding a job and growing up the ladder, it also means at one point in your career developing the capacity, either individually or through a new entity, to give jobs or at least pay for others' internship while you make your million should be a critical career milestone. As a consultant, you will be able to support graduating students as digital interns in your project for different types of work: research, content, presentation, website development, social media management, video making, email campaign, marketing material, and many more. How do you know that you have the potential to be a successful consultant? If you know a subject just a little more than most of us do, you can be an independent consultant because of that knowledge. How to get started? It is perfectly okay to start consulting part time. However, you have to do something every day to build that. Are you now curious to know if you will succeed? Now take a quick look back at your corporate career. If you were one of the top performers during your corporate tenure, there is a very high chance that you will be equally good when you are on your own. If you were an average performer and made it to the top more due to social intelligence, with right networking, rapport with team, client mapping, and very less domain expertise, you may have a few hiccups initially, but you will soon do well. If you were a poor performer and failed in meeting your key result areas and service metrics multiple times, consulting in that very domain may have serious credibility issues. Though no special training, certification, or credentials are required, if you have good coaching skills to talk about what you know with conviction, It goes a long way in supporting your consulting career. Now, let us get back to those initial questions. What if prospects do not take me seriously after my corporate label is gone? So, the credibility you built as an individual, as a performer, and as an achiever will be your starting point to be taken seriously in your own venture. What if I'm not competent enough to support without a trained team? This only means you will have to acquire a few more skills to do everything yourself without a team, or pay a freelancer to save your bandwidth for the thinking and client management scope of work. What if I do not recommend the right solution to address clients' pain points? If you keep yourself appraised about the industry and market intelligence and understand clients' pain points accurately, with your experience and a little bit of bridging learning gaps, you will recommend the right solution. You can always opt for outcome-based pricing and call out terms and conditions to client. What if I do not earn the kind of pay I draw now? You will not initially. If you stick long enough, you will earn your annual cost to company in a quarter, depending on the complexity of the project you were associated with and the outcomes you were able to achieve for the client. What if I fail to achieve clients' business outcomes? You do a thorough analysis, identify the reasons behind the failures. Call out if it was clients or your responsibility to manage execution. If it is your lack of competence, then it is only fair that you do not charge any consultation fee to client. What if I make a fool of myself because I threatened my cozy cocoon? Go right back in. You're not ready for consultation yet because you do not realize that you never make a fool of yourself for trying but standing still in the same place for years together. Finally, how will you calm those butterflies? Simply by focusing on what you know and what you can instead of what you don't know and cannot do.